Since the COVID-19 pandemic, educators have looked at online technologies for help. While teaching remotely in an emergency is not the same as online instruction, your remote teaching can become much more effective if you can master a few online teaching practices applicable to any subject and audience. This eModule will help you do that. In this video, I will identify what these key practices are to help you decide which ones you may want to learn more about, and then briefly talk about what this eModule can offer. Different online teaching practices are most impactful at different stages of the teaching process. First of all, when choosing key learning activities for an instructional unit or module, it is important to consider how to best elicit student prior knowledge, as this can help students activate knowledge they need to build on, and will also inform your instructional decisions. Yet, when teaching remotely, you cannot gather this information by simply observing students' participation. You will also need to think of ways to help students identify the big ideas or key elements of an activity, as this becomes especially challenging when much of student work happens independently. Once key learning tasks have been identified, there are other online teaching practices to consider as you design each task. First, you will want to save precious class time by conveying most of the content asynchronously online, leveraging the power of multimedia. You will also need to create opportunities for students to share their work online and learn from each other, as this is especially important when students are no more physically together in class. Once tasks have been planned, other online teaching practices can enhance their implementation. First, whenever students need to work on a task independently, you must provide clear directions that they can access as needed. You will also need to consider the best way to provide feedback to your student work remotely. Becoming better at each of these practices will have big payoffs, as you will be able to use them in practically every remote instructional unit. This eModule was designed to help you learn more about these practices. For each practice, you will be able to choose from a few complementary materials. We recommend you first watch a short introductory video that we created to highlight key elements to take into consideration when using that practice. If you want to go deeper, you can look at the results of an in-depth analysis where we systematically identify key options to consider along with their pros and cons. You can review this analysis in either an easy-to-navigate web page or downloading a Word version that you can edit to incorporate your own notes, whatever works best for you. You can also print a one-page summary handout to use as a reference as you plan your instruction. If you want to become better at any given practice, though, nothing can substitute for its repeated implementation accompanied by reflection. So we also encourage you to keep a reflective journal about your targeted practice, and we have provided a template you can use to guide your reflections. You can use these materials in a number of different ways. If you wish, you can check out some suggestions we have provided for each of these scenarios. Whichever way you decide to go, best wishes for your learning journey.